Hello, this is Nicholas Biondo from myl16journey.com, and I created this short slideshow to show you my L16's new best friend. It's my combination 7-foot plus tripod, monopod, video tripod, light stand, one unit, all for under $20, United States. A perfect complement for the L16 form factor. And getting right to it, this is my new monopod tripod, a light stand, a tall 7-foot combination. I'm going to call it a tripod right now. But you fold up the bottom legs, you got a wonderful monopod too. It goes up to 7 feet or even higher. And as you can see, sitting in this manner, it's 40 inches high. And on the top, you'll see I have my newer leveler tripod base right over here. And I have my video type head. And of course my quick release plate on my L16. By the way, you'll see my strap, the cuff, is always locked to my handle with an elastic band. So if for some reason the camera should fall down, it won't hit the ground. Another item you're going to see here is right here, you'll see reinforcement. Because the original item which I purchased, which is this here, the Slow Dolphin 7-foot photography light stands, a video tripod. And the reason why they say it's a video tripod is each shaft has columns and indentation all along the whole shaft to prevent your camera from twisting left or right when you go up and down. That feature is worth the $20 or $18 all by itself. And what we can do with this, you'll see on the tripod we also have a bit of a bent wire. This is one of my most important tools I use. And actually it's a reusable rubber twist tie, 32 inches. I have 4 of them. I keep one on my stick. When I'm using it as a tripod, I actually wrap it around the stick and wrap it around my wrist. Because when you're doing a parade or an event, you don't want to drop your camera by mistake or tripping on something. And it usually comes in a package of 2. You can get that from your hardware dealer. It's a Knight IZE reusable rubber twist tie. And they're indispensable for me. With this tripod I have here, you can see I have it tied to the base and just wrapped around loosely here, and the reason for that is it enables you to carry the tripod in this fashion, which makes for easy handling. Another important part of this here is using it to secure your camera and tripod to a street lamp if you're doing an event, or a tree if you're doing a nature job, whatever it might be. You could secure, if you have enough of them. I always have 4, 1 on my stick, 1 in my bag, and 2 in my supplemental bags. Because when you're securing this to a pole or anything, just make sure you do it at least halfway up the height that you're going. This way it won't twist and fall down. And here's another view of it. Nothing fancy, quick bend, twist, and these are reusable twist ties, which are really remarkable, and I highly recommend them. And it's a reusable rubber twist tie. Well, getting back to the monopod, here I bought another one. After I buying the first one, I immediately bought another one. So on the left is my stick. I'll call it a stick from now on, that I've modified. As you can see in the one on the right, you have the plug which comes with the stick, of course, with a 1/4-inch thread on the top. And the only thing holding this plug into the shaft of the tripod is a little screw, which you can see right here where I'm trying to blow it up for you. And if you put the weight of your camera and the head and the leveler on that 1/4-inch screw, eventually the little screw holding this here is not going to succeed in maintaining a tight hold, and it could bend this plug. In addition, it could stretch the steel of the shaft itself. So I had to find a way to strengthen it and make it usable, and I did by using these little couplings here. And whenever I have a problem like that, I walk down the aisle of the hardware store, and in the electrical section I found these here, and what it's called is a 1/2-inch set screw coupling, 1/2-inch set screw coupling in the electronics store. And basically it goes in this fashion here. Here's the shaft that we want to reinforce, and you'll see the groove, which makes it a video tripod. It's just fantastic. It does not let your camera twist as you're going up and down. Well, these 2 screws on the coupling that you can see here will be set within this groove over here, just to make sure it doesn't twist itself. And so what I did is I took the whole top shaft, lifted up a bit, and put my coupling on it, which fit rather nicely. And I aligned these screws with the groove on the stick. Then I went ahead and I put the other coupling on. You can see the 2 of them here. They're sitting there loosely within that groove. And on the top, forgive the poor photography, but it's a 1/4-inch wing nut and a washer. Now this washer is made so I can lower this entire shaft onto these couplings in this fashion here. And by holding the shaft down within the black coupling of the tripod, putting weight on it, I went ahead and I screwed the bottom 2 screws, which put the coupling on the actual black portion of the shaft, and then I tightened the top 2 screws, and that tightens the plug and the shaft. And eventually this is what you'll have. Very secure shaft, and the purpose of that is when you take the wing nut off, you're almost ready to put your head on. Now you see the head is a 3/8-inch hole, and I have an adapter which I put on there, and I'll show it to you right now. This adapter, here's the 1/4-inch thread, and this is a 1/4 to 3/8-inch thread adapter, and I'll show it to you right here. They call it a convert screw adapter. For wherever you have a 1/4-inch, you want it to go to 3/8-inch. So it's a convert screw adapter. And now you put this on the 1/4-inch thread, and you'll see that it looks here. You'll see toward the bottom is the 1/4-inch. And you tighten this down without making any marks on the thread. As you turn your head and your tripod leveler on that, that'll tighten everything. But the important thing in this, you can see the original plug, and you could see the outside of the 1/2-inch coupling, which gives more acreage, more territory for the head to rest on. So it's not only resting on the 1/4-inch plug, it's resting on the 1/2-inch coupling, which are screwed into the side. And then you go ahead and you simply attach your tripod head. In this case, we have the newer Pro 69mm tripod leveling base. and this makes for a fantastic combination. With this, what you're looking at here, I'm all ready to shoot videos with smooth panning left to right, and I'm all ready to shoot portrait orientation immediately with this L16 or panoramics. I can, no matter where my tripod is, to an extent, I'm using the newer 69mm tripod leveling base, which cost about $39. But this is the most important device I own, because no matter where I have my camera, I immediately give myself a horizontal base for my camera to make panoramics, which I do often, and it's just a very important part of my photography. So here we have my L16, my head, and my Pro base leveler, the tripod leveler, all on the secured shaft of my Slow Dolphin 7-foot light stand tripod, a video tripod. And just to show you an extreme example, of course I don't leave my camera alone like this, but this is over 8 feet tall. You can see the stick, a 6-foot ruler. It's about another 2.5 feet up there. Of course, using that, you could always use my Wi-Fi viewing mechanism that I created very inexpensively if you have an action camera. And here you have your Bluetooth and the action camera, L16, and it works. So if you're dealing with something that high and you need to see what's in your LCD, you can use the Wi-Fi until and if it does become installed within the firmware of the L16. And basically, I'm sorry to run a bit long. One more item I just want to show you is another important tool is this elastic band, which I not only use to tie down my cuff from my L16, I also put another rubber band, and I have it hanging like this, and to pan when you're doing video, it's the smoothest action just by pulling this elastic band rather than moving the arm of the tripod head, because your fingers on the arm just to make it bounce back and forth. So the rubber bands are nothing more than hair wraps from any store, 99-cent store or beauty store. They're very inexpensive, but they're very useful to use. And I'm sorry for a bit unscripted slideshow, but I hope this helps you. And once again, this is it, the Slow Dolphin 7-foot photography light stand and video tripod. And these are the rubber twist ties, and you can stop the video and just to record it. The head that I use is $39, and I'm very happy with it. In fact, I adapted this head so I can put my anchor battery to it or my drives to my camera while it's on the tripod. And here's the plate, and very strong plastic, and I highly recommend that for that. And I hope you enjoyed this hopefully not long-winded slideshow about my L16's new best friend. And one very fast story. The other day I was in the garden walking around, and it occurred to me that I left my stick somewhere, this new combination. And I had it over my shoulder, not realizing it, because it was on the same side where I have my L16 hanging and my fanny bag, which holds my viewfinder. So I walked back toward the restroom about 100 feet looking for my stick, not realizing I had it on my shoulder all the time. So look into it, and you'll be very satisfied If it lasts me a year for $20 a year, I'd be very happy with it. And good shooting to you, and thank you for listening.